I imagine that right now you're feeling a bit like Alice. Tumbling down the rabbit hole?
You could say that.
I can see it in your eyes. You have the look of a man who accepts what he sees because he's expecting to wake up. Ironically, this is not far from the truth. Let me tell you why you're here. You're here because you know something. What you know you can't explain, but you feel it. You felt it your entire life. That there's something wrong with the world. You don't know what it is, but it's there. Like a splinter in your mind, driving you mad. It is this feeling that has brought you to me. Do you know what I'm talking about? Do you want to know what it is? It is all around us. Even now, in this very room. You can see it when you look out your window or when you turn on your television. You can feel it when you go to work, when you go to church, when you pay your taxes. It is the world that has been pulled over your eyes to blind you from the truth.
What truth?
That you are a slave, Neo. Like everyone else, you were born into bondage. Born into a prison that you cannot smell or taste or touch. A prison for your mind.
Address a few things. Because, I've been seeing a lot of the negative comments, a lot of the slander, a lot of the disrespecting and insulting of the inmates and the guests on the show. Now, check this out real quick. These dudes are lifers. A lot of them have been behind bars for a long, long time, 20 plus years. So the voices have not been heard. So this serves somewhat of an outlet to them. Now, their moms, their kids, their wives, their daughters, they all tune into the show. So with you leaving those disrespectful stuff, they see all that. So I ask you kindly and respectfully to please refrain from doing that. Hold yourself up to a higher standard. As some of you guys may know, Pelican Bay has always been a treacherous place. It's a once-served headquarters for big-time organizations like Nuestra Familia, Mexican Mafia, Aryan Brotherhood. Now, these individuals are the top of the top, the cream of the top. These individuals are so treacherous, so manipulative, and have such a vast influence among California inmates that they built this place specifically for them. Now, these inmates are so crafty and so savvy that they were still able to function and manipulate people and control thousands and thousands of people across the state of California, all from behind these prison walls. However, to this day, Pelican Bay still remains a very dangerous and treacherous place. Officials at Pelican Bay are investigating an inmate-on-inmate homicide. At approximately 9:30 a.m., inmate Aguilar, who was 27 years old, was found dead in the cell early Thursday morning. He was pronounced dead at the scene. The victim, Aguilar, coming from the area of San Diego, he was sentenced to serve 8 years for assault with a deadly weapon and gang enhancement. On top of other charges, he also had a great bodily injury on a peace officer. Inside of prison, he would still continue his violent tendencies. He would catch a battery on assault on a Daniel Jarro, the man who was believed to have viciously killed inmate Aguilar. Daniel Jarro, also coming from the San Diego area, is serving a life sentence for a first-degree murder charge. Also has 18 years on top of that for an attempted murder. So these two dudes are two very violent individuals. Who knows? Both of them coming from San Diego. Perhaps there's more to this than meets the eye.
They call me Fingers.
What are you incarcerated for and how long is your sentence?
I'm incarcerated for 5 different accounts for assault with a firearm, 2 accounts of mayhem, and 2 accounts of attempt murder. I'm incarcerated for a total of 21 years to be served for 85%. I'm from Los Angeles. I'm from under the umbrella of the neighborhood, Firefly neighborhood. right off of like Slauson and Western. If you're from LA, people would know where that area is at. But yeah, from Firefight neighborhood.
You know, where I'm from, you know, and whenever any of our homies land over there, it'd be bad, bro. But one thing we always was told was don't roll it up. You know, stay down, you know. Stay down, squabble, you feel me, fight, don't leave, you feel me, unless the police move you, don't leave and all that. So, you know, the next morning I end up fighting him, boom, 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 bam, go back to my cell, you know. Now I'm pissed off, you feel me, I'm like, man, I ain't finna keep fighting. You know, I'm like, man, I ain't finna keep doing that.
Fight life, you feel me? I'm in jail for something I didn't do. I tell my public defender that every day. Well, you know, everybody says they're innocent, but I'm like, man, I'm really innocent. Well, he's like, well, can you have the people who did it come forward? Like, come on, man, you know, ain't nobody gonna come forward and man up to this. Like, you feel me? But I felt, me personally, I felt that I was disconnected from everybody. Because when I called my family, I had family saying, oh, you probably did do lying to us and this, that. Lying to us and this, that, lying to us and this, that.
So what did they call you, man?
They call me Powder.
Where are you from out here on the streets, man?
I'm from Riverside County, Lake Elsinore, California.
What are you incarcerated for, and how long is your sentence?
I'm incarcerated for attempted murder, and I caught 27 years, 2 strikes. So, you know, I joined this gang, and, you know, I ended up jumped in. And then once I got jumped in, I was given a gun. You know, they gave me a gun for being jumped in and all that type of stuff. And then, obviously, once you're in the gang, you got enemies, dude, and you're just, you know, one thing leads to another. We ended up getting into an altercation with a rival gang, and then I ended up meeting up with the dude and ended up shooting him in the stomach like 3 times. And then I caught my case for 27 years. Turned me out. Jackie's a few years older than me, and you know, I was 19 at the time, and Jackie was 23 at the time. You know, one night she introduces me to a lady named Stella. Stella used to babysit her when she was a kid, and now but it's not my house, and this happened to be Stella's nephew, and we all introduce ourselves. When we introduce ourselves, he tells us that he's Drifter from EYC. So he picks up the bottle and he chugs it. He didn't take a shot. He just started chugging the bottle, and instantly, I immediately tell him, I say, hey, bro, well, now you can go ahead and go buy us a new one, bro, since you just drank all of it. And he looks at me and he tells me, I'm not going to go buy nothing, homie. Like, that's what's up. This is Drifter from EYC gang. And I tell him, well, what's up then, homie? And we start getting busy, and as we're getting busy in the living room, I catch him with a punch, and it knocked him down on the ground. When I knocked him down on the ground, I started kicking him in the face. And as I was kicking him in the face, Stella immediately starts turning hysterical, and she runs out to the living room to see what all the commotion was. And when she comes out there, she just sees me just stomping her nephew in the middle of the living room. So as I'm standing with the music, and I look out the side mirror, and I see 2 guys running up behind the car, and I'm noticing exactly who it is. So as they're approaching the car, I just opened the passenger side door, and I got out, and I was trying to pull up my rifle to shoot these dudes. Luckily for us, my homeboy actually got the rifle back out of their hands, and the store clerk seen all this commotion going down, and they took off running. And next thing you know, I see him running off the porch. He's running off the porch, and he has a gun on him, and he's like, what's up now, S.A.? What's up now, S.A.? And I'm looking at him, I'm like, man, dude. And when he rolls up, I shot one. Boom, and I let him have it. So when I shot him, it was hollow tip bullets, so the hollow tip, immediately the impact of the hollow tip bullet stopped him right there in his tracks, and his gun flew out of his hand. He was hurt, and when he dropped his gun, I shot him 2 more times. Boom, boom. I ended up shooting him 3 times, and he took off. He was like stumbling away, like I knew that I had hurt him. I knew that I had shot him. I knew that I had got him real good. And it was crazy because the first time when I shot him, the very first time, I don't know if it was from the heat from the hollow tip bullets or something, but it was like smoke came out of his stomach, and I seen that.
And my aunt walks over to her front door, opens the door, and it's Hemet Police Department with their guns drawn, and they're telling me to get on the ground. Get on the ground, get on the ground. And I'm like, oh, man. So I get on the ground. I put my cigarette down. They actually take it from me, and they put it in the ashtray, and they handcuff me, pick me up, and they place me up on my feet, and now they're walking me out, and it's broad daylight, and everybody's out there in these townhouses. I'm embarrassed. I'm scared. I'm humiliated.
In the past, and even now, CDCR has only allowed debriefers and informants to speak with the media. Debriefers are inmates who have turned to CDCR for protection, usually for outstanding drug debts that they can't pay, or they're afraid that the crimes they committed will come to light in one way or another. Usually rape, domestic abuse, or child molestation. These types of crimes aren't tolerated by most prisoners.
Nope.
These are the inmates CDCR allows to speak to the media because they can control what they say. It's quite simple. One does not bite the hand that feeds you.